There's about 3 things that everyone does wrong with their social media, and if you're doing any of these, it's probably why you're struggling to grow and not making any money. If you're new here, hi, I'm Kenda. Welcome to the channel. I am the founder and CEO of Laney Media. I have over 300,000 followers on TikTok, 40,000 on Instagram, hundreds of thousands of views on Pinterest, and I am a 7-figure visibility coach. So I work with brands and businesses to scale their social media and scale their income. So there are 3 things that just about everybody does incorrectly when it comes to trying to grow their social media. And they're not what you think they're going to be. If you're doing any or all of these things, it's probably why you're struggling to grow, and it can ultimately make it really, really hard for you to get conversions and monetize your social media. So, problem number 1 is that you are posting educational content without making your audience aware that they have the problem that you are trying to solve for them. So, an example of this, I like to use my own social media because you guys have probably seen it, and so it's a good example for me to use. If someone comes to me and they tell me that they're not making sales because they're struggling to grow their Instagram, I can back that all the way up to what their real problem is, right? So if they're struggling to grow their Instagram, it's because why? Why are you struggling to grow on Instagram? Well, I don't know what to post. Well, why don't you know what to post? Well, I'm nervous to post and I don't really have clarity about what I'm supposed to be posting and I just don't know what to say. Okay, why don't you have clarity? Why do you not know what to say? Well, because I'm not super certain about what I'm selling. Why aren't you certain about what you're selling? Well, I have some imposter syndrome happening and I'm not sure what to price my products at. Okay, so now we've gone from growing on Instagram to pricing products. And so I know that that's their real problem. But if I were to just make a TikTok video saying, here's some tips to help you price your products better to make more sales, no one's going to watch that video because they don't even know that that's their problem. They just know the symptom of the problem that they're experiencing. They don't know what the actual root problem is. So if I make educational content that is geared towards and directed at that root problem that I know they have, but they aren't aware of, that content isn't going to perform well and it's not going to convert. People may watch it and say, that's interesting, but they're not going to absorb it, consume it, and then convert because they aren't aware that it's a problem that they have. They don't feel that pressure. They don't feel that pain. A lot of people, you'll hear them talk about pain points, but even though that is a problem that they're having, they're not aware that it's a problem that they're having. So what you need to do is instead create content that connects to either the symptom that they are experiencing or makes them aware that that is their problem. So if I were to make a video that says, you think that you're not making sales because your Instagram isn't growing but it's actually because of your lack of clarity around pricing, and then I were to explain myself, that would be an example of problem aware content. So I would make people aware of the problem and present to them a solution. The other example is to give people tips related to what you know their symptoms are that they are experiencing. So if someone comes to me and they're like, I'm struggling to grow my Instagram, then something that I can give them is like, okay, if you're struggling to grow your Instagram, let's figure out why you're struggling to grow your Instagram. And so I can bring them through the process of bringing them to that problem. And so I'm creating content that is symptom focused. So I'm giving them tips to help them solve those symptoms that will eventually lead them to the problem. So there's kind of 2 ways to go about that. And it really depends on what your content is, who your audience is, and who you're speaking to. If you have a program that solves X amount of problems that you know your audience always has, then it would be really, really easy for you to make problem aware content and make people aware of the problems. Whereas if you are an influencer or a content creator and you are not necessarily solving a problem for your clients, but you're treating the symptoms, they are struggling with body positivity or they're having skin problems or whatever it is that you're promoting, you may be making content that's more centered around the symptom that they're experiencing, not necessarily what the root problem is, right? So if you made a video talking about solutions for hyperpigmentation, a lot of people don't even know what hyperpigmentation is. They don't know that they have that, and so they don't know that they need your product. So if you're making videos geared towards the problem, that's not going to be helpful. But if you're making videos geared towards the fact that, they're itchy or it's dry or it's flaky or whatever, the symptoms that they're experiencing, that content's going to connect with your audience a lot quicker and easier and actually drive those conversions because you're connecting with the symptom they're experiencing and what they're actively going through. So problem number 2 that I always see is people try to use nurturing platforms as outreach platforms. So I'm just going to be blunt with you. If you are trying to grow on Instagram, if you're trying to bring new people into your audience on Instagram, you're probably going to continue to be disappointed. If you use TikTok and Pinterest as outreach platforms, as they're made to be used to bring new people into your audience, and then you nurture them on Instagram, then you're going to see conversions. Then you're going to see a shift and a change in your analytics, in your sales, and overall in the interaction and engagement that's on your account. So there are, like I said, two types of platforms. There's outreach and there are nurturing platforms. Instagram is a prime example of a nurturing platform. There's almost no other platform like it where you're able to create short form content, long form content, live content, and then like short content that's like in the moment, like your story, and then also stagnant content that stays there for a long time, like your feed posts. So you're able to really create every type of content that there is on Instagram and have it in one place that's housed. It makes sense. People understand how to use it. It's easy to use. It's easy to navigate, and you're able to nurture your audience and connect with them through different types of content, right? So long form content is highly converting because it's really nurturing. Short form content is great for outreach. You're able to reach new people with reels, but I wouldn't bank on that to be your main form of outreach. So what you'll want to do is generate cross-platform traffic. So from TikTok, from Pinterest, from platforms like that are really good outreach platforms where the algorithm or the machine learning is such that you are able to put yourself in front of people that are actively looking and searching for your content and are actively engaging with content similar to what you promote and create, is going to be instrumental in growing your account and growing your community because you're able to reach out, bring new people into your audience, and then nurture them on your one platform. So you're going to drive cross-platform traffic from platform to platform. And that's going to do a couple things. One, it's obviously going to grow your nurturing platform, and so you're going to grow the pool of people that you have to nurture and drive conversions from. The second thing is that you're going to shorten the conversion, like the time that it takes to go from discovery to sale, because when people are able to see you in a bunch of different platforms, in a bunch of different formats, it builds that authority and trust with you and with your platform a lot faster than it would otherwise. So you're able to shorten that time span, like I said, from discovery to sale a lot faster by bouncing people from platform to platform. So problem number 3 that I see is not tracking revenue per post. Now, when it comes to organic marketing, it can be a little bit harder to actually track this, which is why it's so important, because it's not like running an ad where you're able to see, okay, so many people clicked on the ad, they purchased, this is the exact ROI that I got for the amount of money that I spent, right? It's going to be different with organic traffic. So you need to have really good tracking in place that allows you to see when what videos are trending, when you post what videos, what conversions were made, what visits were made to your website, where did they spend time on your website, what videos were posted, or what types of content were posted that drove those conversions. And so you should know that, for example, if you post a testimonial video and it gets at least 10,000 views, then that equals 20K in revenue. That's what it is for me. So you need to be very, very clear on what types of content you need to create and how often to be able to reach your goals. So if you're just constantly on the hamster wheel, just spinning out new ideas, new content, and coming up with new topics to post about and just always creating, but there's no strategy, not just in strategy as in what people need to know, what the sales process is, but strategy behind the forms of content that actually drive sales. If you know that, 2 TikToks plus 1 live equals X amount in sales, then it's going to curate the way you create content, and it's going to change the way that you show up on social media rather than just creating until you burn out. So there's a couple different ways to put that tracking in place, from duplicate landing pages, Google Analytics. There's a bunch of different things you can do, and that's something that we teach in the programs because it's so important for you to know exactly what every single piece of content is doing for you and how it should be performing, rather than just creating new content every day with no real goal in mind. And again, it's not just about the goal to make sales, grow followers. It's about the goal of this specific piece of content should produce X amount in revenue for me and for my business. So if you're not able to have that clarity and have that tracking, that's something that is really, really important for you to set up. And you should honestly do that before you do anything else, because otherwise you're just going to be creating with no end in sight and with no real strategy or oversight as to what those conversions are and what every single piece of content is doing for you and for your brand. So I hope this video was super helpful for you. If you're struggling with any of the things we talked about, you would probably be a good fit for one of the programs. So as always, you can visit laneymedia.org for information about what I offer or connect with me on social media. It's just my name on everything, so you can find me over there pretty easily. Let me know if you have any questions. As always, leave a comment down below, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for being here.